Hey guys, it's Drax, and today I'm back with some more information on the NS prototype tanks and the alerts. So I just wanted to explain first how the alerts work, and then I'll go on to some more details about the prototype tanks. So once the alert starts, like a normal alert, you get an objective. But this objective is to destroy the most prototype tanks. Now they drop in crates, and once the crate hits the ground you can go up to it, you can press E, and then you can click the spawn button and you get your tank. At the moment this is a bit buggy, and sometimes the crate might blow itself up and take the tank with it. Sometimes it might blow up and half health the tank, so still got some work to do there. But once you've got the tank, then your objective with that is to go around and look for other tanks or other crates, because you can destroy either tanks or crates to win. Now the crates can land in some weird places sometimes, so that's also got to be worked on, because they seem to spawn near you or in front of you, and I don't know how the selection is done currently. But I've had them land on the landing pads of towers, as you've seen in the last video, and that can be a bit of an issue because then you have to drive them off, and that will also damage the tank. So that's just the overview of the alerts and how they work. Now on to some stats about the prototype, and the body is indeed a Vanguard body, and the speed seems to be equal to the standard Vanguard. What I didn't realise last time is that, so we've done some tank mines, and the tank mines end up to be about 4 to kill the prototype, whereas C4 is different. The prototype tank actually has 8000 HP, so it takes 7 C4 at 1250 damage per brick to kill the prototype tank. And when you kill a prototype tank, you get 2500 XP. Now repair time, if you take a lot of damage, is quite long. I didn't realise it would take so long, so when I was actually repairing I wondered if I had the wrong tool. But in fact it was the tier 6 repair tool. It's just so much HP to repair. So I would say this is great for getting repair sunders around it and working as a team. Maybe in the future it could be a multi-crewed tank, and that would work really well. Maybe as a chassis might be changed in the future and it might get larger, it might become an actual multi-crewed tank, tank destroyer, or artillery piece. Now the cannon sound I mentioned last time, and I didn't give you guys a good chance to hear what it sounded like, so I'm going to do that now. So if you notice the sound there, it may sound familiar, and I did reference it in the last video that it sounded like a Doulton, and I actually believe that is the Doulton sound. And I'm going to be firing the Doulton in a bit, and you probably notice that it's pretty much the same. Now no new sound has been added for this tank yet, and it probably won't get added for a little while, but I'm pretty sure I can confirm it here that that is the Doulton sound for this tank. If we go on to performance against other tanks, and we tested this against a Mag Rider. Now the prototype wins with half his health remaining, but if the Mag Rider had a gunner, he might even potentially win, especially seeing as he can move around. So MBTs, I would say, still have the upper hand on these prototype tanks. So they're going to have to be used in a different way, like further back, as tank destroyers. Maybe the velocity would go up, or maybe the artillery would come into the game in some way, and they can work out some system of targeting that you could aim downwards, because there's a fairly large splash at the moment. Maybe that splash could be improved, and the damage from the splash could also be improved, but the tank could lose its ability to aim in front, so that it could only be used as an artillery piece. Maybe that could work in the future, because right now you could potentially use it for spamming infantry, which was brought up in the comments before as a worry. Versus against a lightning tank, it seems to take around 4 shots to kill, the same as the Sunderer. If we go against air versus the prototype, specifically a Lib, the tank buster from the rear does half damage, and the Doulton rounds are similar to the C4, taking about 7 shots. For rocket launchers, which I forgot to test, but based on the prototype's 8000 HP and the decimator's 975 damage, it would take 9 shots to kill it. When going against the max suit, the prototype takes 2 shots to kill the max, even if the max suit has the highest tier flak armor equipped. We also tested Vanu max weapons against the prototype tank to see how many hits it could take. And this is, of course, all of these results are under the new combined arms initiative damages. So that's the max weapons and the rocket launchers and the C4. So they're all taking a bit longer than they would have previously. And this actually took 44 shots with comets and about 46 with the vortexes, some of those being charged. So it's quite an amount of damage that this tank can take, and that's, as I mentioned before, its main strong suit against other tanks, and it looks like its main factor overall. So they're going to be tough to kill, but not so great at putting damage out themselves. So that's all the statistics I got on the tank and on what I've tested so far. But I also want to mention here that for anyone who wants to test them themselves, you can get on the test server. There's a download link in the description, a direct download link, so you'll get that downloaded straight to your PC. The only thing I would say is the alerts are a bit buggy and the spawn mechanic seems to be a bit random. Sometimes I flew around for absolute ages looking for one, or multiple alerts have passed and still a crate hasn't dropped, whereas sometimes you come on and the crate drops in front of you within a matter of minutes. So it's a bit buggy right now, and you might not get no luck if you're looking for any yourself. This project is very early days and not a priority for the developers at this time. So they're not going to be putting too much work into it, as there are obviously other pressing issues in the game that need to be handled first. But I still think that this system could be pretty good for the game, just to refresh it as a veteran player. Just something else to do instead of the standard alerts that we have now. But I just want to reference a comment from one of the guys on the last video I did from the prototype tank, and this is from Stretch. He got a lot of upvotes on the last video, and his comment about the prototype tank was that he didn't like how it's been handled with the new alert. He wondered why we were hunting down these tanks and who is dropping them from space. He would rather have something like hunting heavily armored non-combative trucks with something of importance like Vanu artifacts, a VIP, or unstable power cells. And he made a good point that new players and veterans would feel more involved in the world if it had some importance, whereas these prototype tanks seem to be a bit more random. But I'll still say at least it's something else to do. Anyway guys, that is all the info I have for this one, and probably for a little while until these prototype tanks get updated in the future. Maybe we'll get a test server update pretty soon, and of course I'll keep you informed with those. If you've got any thoughts on the prototype tanks, or maybe you want some question answered, I might be able to help you with that. But if you've enjoyed this video, found it informative or helpful, then please like and subscribe for future content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.